Alrighty, welcome back. Thank you for attending our next video. In this video, we are going to talk about how to configure URL filtering on the Palo Alto Firewall. Really super simple to do, and it's a great demonstration of what the box can do. So let's go ahead and do that. So when you first log in, you'll come to your dashboard, and then you should click on the Policies tab. The URL filtering is applied by policy. In this case, I only have one policy created. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this by checking here on the in the profile column. In the profile column, we don't have any profiles created. So I'm going to go ahead and click on None, and then we'll see the individual profiles that we want to enable. Similarly, we also turn on antivirus, vulnerability protection, spyware, file blocking, data filtering. But today we're going to focus on URL filtering. So if we wanted to turn on URL filtering for one of the existing profiles, we would go ahead and drop down on this box and select one of the existing profiles that's here. In this case, I want to create a new one. I could have done that from the Objects page under the Objects tab and the URL filtering profiles there, or I can click New here and create a new one directly from here. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and block games. So we'll give it a name. We'll say No Games. Okay, and I have a couple of choices here. You'll see options for each of these URL filtering categories. I can drop down and do them individually, or I can select up here to take the action for all of them. So let's say a block, for example. It'll block all categories. So the idea with this is we have several options. We can either allow, block, those are pretty self-explanatory, continue, which is present a page to the user that tells them that this category is not necessarily allowed, but they can click here to continue, and we'll just create an alert on the firewall for it. Override will require the user to enter an admin password to override the block in this case. Alert will simply alert the firewall, create an entry in the URL filtering log for it. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to go ahead and say allow everything, but I want to block games. Here's my games category right here. So I'm going to go ahead and say block. Okay. I have some other choices over here on the left as well. I have a choice for a description. I also have a choice for dynamic URL filtering. In the dynamic URL filtering checkbox, what this is allows us to go off the box to look for additional URLs. So locally on this device, we will load the top 20 million URLs from the database. Okay, and if we find a URL that is not in the top 20 million, then what will happen is if we have this box checked, it's going to look outside of the local platform, the local database, to find that URL and match it up to one of the categories so that it can apply the policy correctly. Okay, so that's what happens. The block list and allow list, these are simply whitelist and blacklist. If you're familiar with those, the action is simply to put in the host name, so my bad site, for example, and good site. So in this case, this will allow these good sites and will not allow these, and you can potentially say block, continue, override, alert on these as well. Okay, so you get the idea. That's how this works. It doesn't matter, I'll just leave those in for now. We'll click OK. And then once we do that, now we have our URL filtering profile of no games in here. Okay, so that is now in play. So if I hit OK, we're going to see an icon now appear in our policy. This is the URL filtering profile, and it gives us a little description if we hover there over what profile we have created. Now the interesting thing about doing this by policy is that we might also apply the source user or user group, so that we can apply these URL filtering profiles to individual users or individual user groups if we choose to. So that's kind of a neat feature, again tying into the user ID capability of the Palo Alto Firewall. Very helpful and very unique, and being able to centralize this in a single location without having to have multiple appliances to do the same function. Okay, so once we do that, we can go ahead and click Commit. Say OK. This is going to take about a minute to go ahead and process. One other thing that I will also point out while this is committing is that you have the ability to create some custom response pages as well. So if I click on Device, you will see over here a link for response pages in the navigation bar. So if I click on this response page, you'll see over here a couple of items related to URL filtering. Here's one of them, URL filtering block page, where we might actually include a customized page if we wanted to. So if we click import, we can browse, find our HTTP page. I'll put one in later. And we'll put a custom page in there so that we'll block that particular page. Okay, and then also over here you'll see the continue and override pages that can also be imported in. These are going to be custom pages that you might include for the continue or override functions of URL filtering. So one of the things that that we'll see here, actually this is probably just about done. Oh, it's done. So now what I can do is I can go to my favorite game site, miniclip.com, and we'll see web page blocked. Oh, that's bad. Okay, and actually if we go over here to the URL filtering, if I come to monitor and I come to the URL filtering log, I will likely also see, here it is, miniclip block URL. Okay, so our URL filtering in this case is now working. Okay, so the other thing that I'm going to do now is just demonstrate a quick customized page. So you saw this is what the default page looks like for the block page. I'm going to go ahead and load up a custom response page. So let's see, URL filtering block page. I'll just click import, and if I select that, I'll say OK, 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 great. And now let's just try that one more time. Actually, you know what I'll do is just to be safe, I'll clear the cache just so you know that I'm not cheating here. Okay. Ta-da! Here's my custom page. Okay, and you can do this again with override and with the override and continue pages as well. So I hope that's helpful. Again, you can create lots of custom URL filters. They are under the Objects tabs. If you wanted to go back and edit them, you click under Objects, and then under these security profiles, here's the URL filters that we've created so far. Here's my No Games one, and we can edit these at will. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact your local Palo Alto Networks systems engineer, or contact Palo Alto Networks support. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video. Take care.